turn now to our second speaker, Glenn Aparicio Parry. Once again, I'll just say his title: Auroville in the United States, Microcosm and Macrocosm of Unity and Diversity. Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, Sasha. Thank you, Ananta. You know what Gandhi said, right, when he was asked, what does he think of Western civilization?
It is a good idea.
It would be a good idea, yeah. Thank you. Okay. Your In speaking about contemplative civilization, reminded of what I was thinking when I wrote the book Original Thinking. I wanted to investigate the origin of the word thinking. And I was pleasantly surprised to find that the origin of the word thinking is thanking. In English, French, Dutch, Norse, Frisian, German, and Old Anglo-Saxon, those are the only ones I found, but I have a suspicion that there's a whole lot more. And yeah, it comes from the Proto-Germanic pankas. So I want to begin, because of that, I want to begin with prayer. Could this mic be on? Yeah, it is. Good. It's okay. Ah, beloved Creator, thank you for the blessing of this gathering. Thank you for all the people that put in the work to put this together. Debashish Banerjee, Jonathan K. Keika, thank you for your beautiful chanting. Thank you for setting the tone. And I want to especially thank the ancestors, Sri Aurobindo, Sri Aurobindo, the mother, Mirra Alfasa, the mother, thank you. Haridas Chaudhary, founder of CIS, Beena Chaudhary, founder of CIS. Thank you so much. Thank you also Jean Gebser. Thank you to many of the people, the ancestors that built this California Institute of Integral Studies: Ralph Metzner, Angeles Arian, Dr. Reddy. Thank you, Dan Moonhawk Alford. I want to thank some other dear ancestors to me. You may not know them, but Grandfather Leon Secretero, Grandfather Toba Sanakwit Canoe. Thank you. Thank you to the ancestors of each and every one of you that brought you to this moment in time. Thank you to if your parents have passed, thank you to your parents. Thank you for Debashish's parents. Thank you. Thank you for your grandparents, your grandmothers, grandfathers. Thank you for them. They brought you here. And thank you to the grandparents, grandmothers of each and every one of you. And thank you also to the ancestors of the trees, the plants, the flowers, the bees. We wouldn't be here without them as well. Thank you. Thank you, beloved Creator. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the elements, the light, the lights in the sky, the starlight, the light of the sun that's given us warmth and energy. The ancestors enjoyed the same warmth of the sun that we do today. Thank you for that sun. Thank you for the breathing aware air. It has many names: the prana, the pneuma, the ruach, the spiritus. It is alive, or it wouldn't give you life. Thank you for the air. Thank you for the waters everywhere, the waters in the clouds, the waters under the earth, the waters in the rivers, streams, lakes, and oceans, the water in our heart that connects us with the heartbeat of nature. And thank you for Pachamama, Mother Earth, that we're born from, that we return to. Thank you for all the critters on the earth. Thank you for the fertile soil, the soil of consciousness. Thank you for that. Thank you for that soil. Thank you for everything in the soil that's alive, the nematode worms, the bacteria, the viruses. Yes, thank you for the viruses. Germs are important. Actually, germs germinate. Germs give us life. Thank you for that. We ask that we be in balance with the bacteria and the viruses, that we allow them into this community. Thank you. Thank you for all the crawling ones on the earth, including those millipedes in India we saw so many of. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the crawling ones. Thank you for the birds that come in the morning that sing to us. They're not really singing, they're talking, but thank you to the birds. Thank you to those finches, those beautiful, beautiful finches that come in the morning. And thank you also to the eagles and hawks that give us vision, that let us to see over. Thank you for them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the bear, fox, bobcat. Especially now, I want to give thanks to the bear as we go into the season, as we begin to head toward darkness. Let's remember the bear. Remember, we can go inside. We're talking about contemplative civilization. We can go inside. We can learn from the bear. There's a lot of wisdom everywhere you look, everywhere. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I pray, beloved Creator, I pray that in this conference, that people give their full consciousness, their full heart, their full mind, their full psychic being to be present, to listen to the wisdom that is everywhere, to listen to that wisdom, to take it into your heart. These are difficult times, beloved Creator. We're at the end of the age of the curve of reason. We're at the end of the age of the rational age, and everything seems to be falling apart, but it's still there. The wisdom that was always there, that was there way back in the Upanishads, that was way back in the Veda era, it's still here, it's still within your own heart. So, beloved Creator, I ask that the people, not just while they're listening here, but while they're dreaming at night, while they're doing some drawing or writing or whatever creative pursuit they have, that comes through and that it's always there, that they know that they can call upon that wisdom. Thank you, beloved Creator. Thank you. Aho mitaki asan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How much time do I have, Debashis? 17 more minutes. How much more time do I have? I'm saying. Oh, okay. Thank you. That's all right. That's the most important thing, really. So, I came to talk about Auroville and the United States, both experiments in unity and diversity. They very much are. When Auroville began in 1968, they brought the soil from 121 nations there, knowing that all the world's peoples may come to Auroville. In the beginning of the United States, we spoke about e pluribus unum, the Latin from the many, one. There's a real symmetry here. The Auroville Charter is an incredibly beautiful thing. The Auroville Charter that says that Auroville belongs to nobody in particular, but to live in Auroville, you have to be a servitor to the divine. Oh, that I think is very precious. It's very precious because it's very reminiscent of the way Native Americans think about land. We don't own the land. We belong to the land. We belong to the land. And that's what I'm sure the mother had in her mind. I spoke to a couple of Aurovillians who actually were complaining about that. They said, we wish the mother had said Auroville belongs to Aurovillians. Then we might not have a problem. But what happened is she said something really beautiful, something transcendent beyond what the people of Auroville even are thinking today, but something that someday will be remembered, that we belong to the land. We don't own the land. We can never own the land. Much of the mother's vision has come to fruition. I'm pretty grateful for that. When we were there in Auroville for 3 weeks, I was amazed. She passed on in 1973, just 5 years after Auroville began. But she insisted, let's build the Matramandir, this symbol, and if we build this symbol, then the community will survive. And it was built. And some of that building is incredibly beautiful. Looks like Taj Mahal with white marble. And then there's some ferro concrete. They made some compromises because they needed to get it built quickly. And they did. And I think that was important, and they listened to that message. And when I was in the Matramandir for the first time, concentrating, they say don't meditate but concentrate, feeling the light from above, the solar light that's coming in, and I guess it's directed by mirrors, going right into this enormous crystal and then going down to a lower crystal. I felt that light coming down upon my forehead. I felt that. I felt what I guess was the mother. And that's what Amrit said, who is a long-time resident of Auroville, and that's what he experienced long before he ever moved to Auroville. And he almost wants to leave Auroville, but he can't because the mother keeps insisting that he stay. That's the power of that place. That doesn't mean it doesn't have, that's okay, shadow sides. It does. Both the United States and Auroville have profound shadow sides. The brighter the light, the darker the shadow. But in the brief time that I have to speak with you this morning, I want you to know that even though Sri Aurobindo really honored the founding fathers of the United States, he honored them. He considered them special souls that came into being at this particular time. And what came through them, a vision for liberty, equality, and natural rights, was a beautiful vision. But I would say, if I could have a conversation with Sri Aurobindo today, I mean, I'm just going to speak to you. You're still here. You're very much here. I think the founding fathers really got their wisdom from Native America. That's where they got it. If you think about it, it makes sense. They were living, the founding fathers and their ancestors were living amongst Native Americans for 150 years before there ever was the idea to found the nation of the United States. And that idea came through Native America. It came because Ben Franklin, who, as you know, was a printer of treaties, and he used to print treaties, a lot about treaties between Britain and Native Americans. And when he became a Pennsylvania assemblyman, he took the side of the Indians so often that he lost his seat as a Pennsylvania assemblyman. But that was a beautiful twist of history, because then after that, he became the ambassador to the Haudenosaunee. And thank you, Ananta, for bringing up, I'm sorry, you said the Iroquois, their French name, but it's the same thing. The Haudenosaunee means the people of the Longhouse. That's what they call themselves, but they're more commonly known as the Iroquois. That nation, the Haudenosaunee, who themselves, as old as 1132 AD, had come together to form a peace pact between the five nations, the Onondaga, the Cayuga, the Seneca, the Oneida, and the Mohawk. They formed a peace pact. And they did that. There was a peacemaker who came in from outside of the community, and he handed them one single arrow. They broke it over a knee. And then he reached behind him and he got a sheaf of 5 arrows. He tried to break it over his knee, and it didn't break. That is how the Haudenosaunee got started. That's their peacemaker story. And then after Ben Franklin got his job as the Indian ambassador, he has a friendship with Chief Conestoga. And it's Chief Conestoga on July 4th, 1744, exactly 32 years before the Declaration of Independence is written, who enacts the same thing. He tells the colonists to unite. And he did that because he was a little unhappy with the fact that the colonists had 13 disparate governments. So he wanted them to unite. And so he did the same thing. He gave Ben Franklin one arrow, then he took it back from him, broke it over his knee, then he reached behind, he got a sheaf of arrows, and he tried to break it over his knee, it didn't break. Ben Franklin never forgot this. He never forgot this. And that's why when he was an old man and they were designing the Great Seal of the United States, that's why in the eagle's left talon, it holds a sheaf of 13 arrows. The other talon has an olive branch. But we're in a difficult time. We're in a difficult time, and the United States is certainly in a very difficult time. It's closer now to fascism than there ever has been. But as Theodore Parker said, and Barack Obama and Martin Luther King like to reiterate, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. It's sometimes really hard to see when we're in the midst of some chaos what good has gone before. When the founding fathers started the US, they really gave the power to the states to decide who could vote. But essentially, all the states, with the exception of New Jersey, which is interesting, basically said that the only people who could vote were white male property owners. Andrew Jackson in 1832 gives the vote to other whites. That's considered progress. Then we have the Civil War, and after that we get the vote for black men. It should have been black men and black women. It should have been all women, but it took really till 1920 before the whole country could give to women the right to vote. There's a big shadow going on. Yeah. But I want to say, though, it's coming. I also want to say something, too. The United States has become a tremendously diverse country, including the influence of India. Thank you so much for the influence of India. Thank you so much for the California Institute of Integral Studies. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for being here. Past president, thank you very much. The supramental consciousness is coming. It is coming. It is real. It's already here, and it will be liberating. And thank you. We will be free at last, free at last. Thank you very much. Blessings. Okay. Thank you. Certainly.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to reflect a bit because I have this feeling that what we're calling this edge of new civilization is basically the white man's civilization is falling, right? It's crumbling, and we're trying to revalorize or revalue some of what I think the previous talkers talked about, forest-based civilizations, or you were talking about Native Americans, and how do we bring this wisdom back into the new civilization that we're creating. But I'm wondering, like, what's the place of white men now, or white in general, in this restructuration of civilization?
Well, the place of white men and the place of any human being in the world is intact. As Sri Aurobindo speaks about, you have to have compassion for even people that we might think are misguided, or even evil. Best definition I ever heard of evil, which is from a very strange source, the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus. It said, evil is the inharmonious blending of the colors, forms, and tones of good. So really, just some people might be a little misguided, and some white people might be misguided, but a lot of white people are very much great contributors to this world. So everybody deserves to be given full respect, and everybody should take their place and contribute.